Hey folks, Bob Kitchen here. I'm one of the owners here at Maple Hill Golf. You're listening to our official podcast, The Hill Unscripted. Every 2 weeks, I'll bring you real talk from inside the golf world, stories, conversations that matter to you as a golfer and valued part of the Maple Hill family. And I want to wish each and every person to start off a happy 4th of July. That's when this podcast is going to air, and we're shooting it just a couple days before that. So, Caitlin, it's time to edit it in case I happen to slip up or swear or something. So, anyhow, happy 4th of July, everyone. It's a great Independence Day, and that means summer's, I consider it kind of like halfway there, maybe even just a third of the way there. So we've still got all of July and all of August, which are two just great months, and September's phenomenal too, at least here in Michigan. Some of my friends down in Carolinas and Florida have been complaining about the humidity and how hot it is, but life here in Michigan is pretty good, man. I took the last 2 days, and a buddy of mine invited me to go play Arcadia South for the first time ever, so that was interesting. I've never played that before. It's good. Great as a stretch, but it's really good. It's very nice. And then we played Pilgrim's Run on the way back, and Pilgrim's Run is just such a great golf course. If you guys in the Grand Rapids area or in West Michigan, Pilgrim's Run is just phenomenal. And Arcadia is expensive, and it's got the name Arcadia in it, but it's the South Course is just kind of a giant farm that they turned into a golf course. It's like if anybody's played Stoughton Bray, they're not comparable. They look comparable, but they're not. Arcadia is a million times better than Stoughton Bray, but it's along those lines. So anyhow, enough about that. The golf that's been on TV is pretty darn good. The kid just won his first ever event last weekend. That was great. I can't remember the guy's name right this second, but he's young, and it was his first win, and that was great to see. And that just shows you how difficult golf is. I've said it 1,000 times in this podcast. I'll say it 1,000 more. Golf's hard, so it's hard to dominate in the sport because it's basically an undominatable sport, even though Tiger did it for a while. There's just so many good players, and you got to make the putts. You got to get the bounces. You got to hit the chips. Your tee shots have to be in play. Keep it out of the water. No penalty strokes. Keep the bogeys off the card. And amateur golfers keep doubles off the card. So anyhow, just congratulations to him. Happy 4th of July. I'll get into some of the topics I want to talk about today. I want to talk about low spin drivers, mini drivers, the Maple Hill philosophy, like how we do what we do and why we do what we do, and Maple Hill selling platforms and how all that works. So that'll be the ending, and that'll kind of tell people a lot of what goes on in the industry kind of behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't understand. So I'll get into all that. I'll start with the first topic, the low spin drivers. So Eric McAfee, a customer of mine that I'd consider a friend at this point, he's bought a lot of stuff from me, and he messages me here and there, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm playing with this low spin." I can't remember what it was, Cobra, TaylorMade, or whatever it was, and I want to get the new driver, and what model should I get? And I said, "Hey, dude, try the non-low spin version." He's like, "Really? You think so?" And he got it, and he's absolutely loving it. It goes so straight, and a lot of people don't understand that spin is your friend. Around the greens, I'm talking about drivers right now in particular. Around the greens, it can be not your friend. But spin is what keeps the ball in the air, and if it doesn't have any spin, the rights and lefts can be a little wider. So you don't want side spin. But you do need some back spin. People are like, "Oh, my spin's too high. I'm at 2,200 spin." I'm like, "No, your spin's too low." So there's a place, folks. You can find it online, and hopefully Caitlin can find it and post it. But there's a thing that is optimizing your speed, launch, and spin. And if you can take those three numbers and put them into the formula and figure out where your optimal is, you know what your speed is. Your ball speed doesn't really change a whole lot. You can do the orange whip or any of that kind of stuff to gain flexibility. You can lift weights for strength. You can take lessons to try to get your hips through quicker and try to get the ball moving faster, but your speed is your speed. Your launch angle, of course, you can screw with that if you have an adjustable driver, down to 10 degree or 11 degree or 12 degree launch angle, even though the pros oftentimes play it at 13 and 14 degree launch. And then your spin needs to be in that 22 to 3,400 range, depending on who you are and how hard you're hitting it and all the other numbers. So I get so many people in comments and questions about low spin. It's like, So the best player in the world is Scottie Scheffler, and he has been for a while. He does not play the TaylorMade low spin driver. He plays the normal QI10. Or I think Rory just switched to QI35, but he plays a normal QI10 driver, the core model, because that with the shaft he's got a Venice Black in there of some sort, and that's a low spin shaft. But those two coupled together really, really work well for him. Obviously, he wins a lot. Obviously, he's the number one player in the world. So for people to go, oh, I need this, I need that, and just be so dead set on having a low spin driver that might not necessarily help you. And these clubs, the other thing that irks me and drives me crazy, and the sales reps would tell you the same thing. If I had a CEO of Titleist or Callaway sitting here with me, they would tell you that every year they're working on spin rates on their drivers, and they've come down so drastically from what it once was. A low spin driver from 4 years ago might be the current model's normal core model, if you want to call it that, because they've worked on spin rates so much. So 460 cc's, CT as far as how fast the ball can come off the face, carbon composite crowns, titanium soles, tungsten weights, all these things to try to maximize and optimize. They've worked on spin rates so much in the last 20 years since they've set the legal rules as to all the things you can do with a driver, that spin rate is basically what they work on. They try to optimize it and maximize it for who it's for. So if you're not that good, folks, if you're not breaking 80 every time you play, you probably don't need the low spin version. Oh, I just put so much spin on the ball. I spin. Okay, some spin is good, folks. I promise you. It helps the ball go straighter. Side spin is not necessarily good as long as it's not too bad. Your angle of attack also matters. So if your angle of attack's negative, you're going to spin the ball more. That's what I was working on this winter with Terry, trying to get my angle of attack into the positive so that I wouldn't be hitting down on it, creating more backspin. So just be careful of low spin drivers, folks. Like that whole craze and all the things about low spin drivers. Just be aware who it's for, and it might not be for you, folks. So just try the other models. Be open-minded about that, please. Moving on to mini drivers. Are they good? Are they good for you? So I had a guy email me and say, yeah, I want to see if it goes further than my current driver. So I was like, well, if your current driver is hitting all over the place, you never hit it straight, you might hit it further on average. Your best shot with your driver is still going to go further than a mini driver. Mini drivers aren't necessarily designed to be hit off the ground, and they're not necessarily designed to replace a 3-wood, and they're not necessarily designed to replace your driver. So it's kind of its own category, but it's smart. It makes a lot of sense. We're selling the crap out of it. People do love it. The shaft is 1.5 inches shorter, roughly, depending on what model and what brand. The head is the size of what drivers were in the late 90s or early 2000s. But it's got the low spin carbon composite crown. A lot of them have movable weights or adjustable necks. You can kind of make it do what you want it to do. For a person that struggles hitting a driver, my buddy Todd Plummer down at Railside, he just bought one from me, and he won the member with it, and he's hitting it better than he's ever hit any driver. If you're not super tall, it also works really good because the shaft length is shorter and you hit it in the center of the face more often. But I've said this to numerous customers. I've said, the odds of winning in Las Vegas, Steph just got back, our HR girl, she just got back from Las Vegas, and the odds of winning in Las Vegas are outrageously low. I think everybody's well aware of that, and it's packed every day. Basically, every day Vegas is packed. There's 1 billion people there trying to win. Well, I guess you could say the same thing is true for drivers. Like, you're not playing the odds, but if you can get good with a driver, it's better than a mini driver. But a lot of people can't get there with a driver, or don't really like the big head or the long shaft or whatever. So the mini driver is a viable option for a lot of people. It increases your odds of winning, of hitting a straight shot, hitting the ball in the center of the face. And I'm not going to say it's for absolutely everybody, but I am going to say it's here to stay. It kind of floated in and out the last maybe 6, 7, 8 years, maybe even a little longer than that. TaylorMade had one way back with the slider. Callaway had a Bertha Mini 1.5. So I think they're here to stay now. I really do. They sell good. People like them. It's kind of a new category for the company, so they like that. So I guess if you got any other questions about mini drivers, I'm more than happy to answer them. But it's a smaller head, shorter shaft, but it's still got a big sweet spot. Easier to hit than a 3-wood. not quite as forgiving as a driver, but the shaft's shorter, so you hit it in the center of the face more often, so increase your odds of distance. So maybe your average distance would go up, even though your best few shots, if you take a sample size of 50 shots and you took your best 5, I bet your driver will beat it. But if you took all 50, even the one that you monster sliced into the trees and only went 170 yards, 150 yards, the one you duck hooked into the swamp and you had to measure that at 130, the mini driver might be better because you're not doing those weird shots because the shaft's shorter. Not a lot of people come to Maple Hill and say, I can't hit my pitching wedge. They say, I can't hit my 5-iron or 4-iron. It's partially because of loft. It's mostly because of shaft length. The shorter the golf club is, the more likely you are to get the club face back to where it started, back to square at impact. So that's the mini driver thing. If you got any questions, comments, concerns on that, please drop something in the comments below, wherever you're watching this, Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. So moving on to the Maple Hill philosophy. So my dad and my grandpa, way back in the day when they started Maple Hill, their philosophy was always give everybody the best possible deal you can. And one of my good buddies, Todd Zaccanelli, was in here the other day. He owned Pete's. It's a restaurant in Byron Center, one of the local hangouts we all go to. And he said, if you just treat people right and do it right, the money will come. So there was some lean years way back in the day, and we've always done what we can to give people the best possible price and sell them the best possible club for the price that we can fit them into or that they need or whatever. We are a business, so we are in the business of making sales, but we've always said try to sell them what they need, and if you can't sell them what they need, sell them what they want. And the people that are open-minded enough to listen to what we have to say and really trying to help you and trying to encourage you to get better and like, hey, you want this? How about this? Have you ever considered this? Like Eric, my buddy that tried the Cobra Adapt 10K driver instead of the LS driver, and he's just absolutely loving the thing. So that's the Maple Hill philosophy. Just try to give people the best possible price and fit them into the best possible club for their budget. Don't oversell, don't upcharge, don't any of that stuff. People want to do it, we'll do it. We have the capability of selling anything and everything. If somebody wants a $3,000 set of irons, you can do a $3,000 set of irons. That's fine. But for the most part, we're trying to give you people like, hey, you need new irons, you want game improvement irons, what do you want? And let's try to figure out the best possible thing we can for you. So treat them right. Because we've always said, too, that the word of mouth is still your strongest advertising. So I go and play in a lot of golf outings. I played in one on Saturday, and I hung out with some friends after that, and they said, when people bring up the name Maple Hill in the Grand Rapids area or even the greater Grand Rapids area, it has a positive tone to it. It has a positive ring. People are like, oh, I love that place. They got great prices there. They got great service. They really treat you right and do all those things. So that's always been our philosophy is do it right, treat them right. Don't try to make any more money than you need to. Just give them the best possible service you can, world-class service. We've talked about that for years too. My dad and my grandpa were big into that, and my brother and I are big into that too. Make sure they're being greeted, make sure they're being waited on, make sure they feel special, listen to their needs, let the customer do the talking, and then try to help them to the best of your ability. And sometimes somebody does need something expensive, and that is what worked best. But for the most part, we can figure out a way to get you the best possible deal on whatever it is you're looking for. It doesn't even matter if it's a glove or tees. We try to be competitive on every single item in this store, and we've got product managers that look through and make sure every single price is sharp. So that's our ultimate philosophy and goal here at Maple. So this next one is a huge can of worms, but it's Maple Hill and selling platforms and how those work. So, oh boy. So we have a huge competitive advantage over our competitors that we don't. When you walk into Dick's Sporting Goods or PGA Superstore or any of those guys, Golf Galaxy, I'll pick on the people here in town. I don't mean any ill towards them. They're easy because they're sitting right here. When you walk into Golf Galaxy or Dick's Sporting Goods, they have one source of income, and it's you. It's whatever markup they're making on their product, and that's it. That's the only source of income they have. So what's great about Maple Hill is we have a golf course, we have a driving range, we have a store, we have an online store, and then we do marketplaces as well. Marketplaces means Amazon and eBay, but not just limited to those. So we have all these different ways to pay our employees that aren't just markup on retail. So we've hired away the store manager from Golf Galaxy. We've hired away a store manager from Dick's Sporting Goods. First and foremost, we can pay them more. We do have year-round employment here because we're busy all winter long with the golf shows. And second off, we have so many different avenues of where we're selling stuff that so many things need attention. So there is a little bit of overhead involved in that, but some people can wear 2 or 3 different hats and do 2 or 3 different jobs and really pick up the slack there. So I've always said when sales reps come to us and like, what do you think about PGA Superstore open up in town and all these things? I'm like, I would hate to be a competitor of ours. I really, truly would, because most everyone, even some of the big national guys, some of them have driving ranges. Even one of our main competitors here in Michigan has a driving range, but doesn't have a golf course, doesn't do golf shows, does do online, a little bit of marketplaces, but basically they have their store, their driving range. That's about it. Their website, of course. That's about it. So we have all these different sources of income. So how we can sell stuff for so cheap is because we buy in volume. We have lots of different revenue streams coming in, and we do these golf shows, which are a tremendous amount of work. And I mean, if our staff's listening to this, they'll all be laughing because they know how much work it is. Semi-trucks full of product and pulling, packing, shipping, setting up, organizing, putting up signs, and then Andy coming through and telling everybody to put up 100,000 more signs. It's just a ton of work, folks. But in the end, it's worth it. We meet a lot of people. We get boots on the ground. We get our name out there more. Our website sales increase, all the different things. Oh, yeah, I've heard of Maple Hill. They were at the South Bend Golf Show. Or I see you guys every year at the Chicago Golf Show. Like, being in front of someone is irreplaceable. You can't – we spend a ton of money getting in front of people on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all the different ways that people look at this video you're watching and all those kind of things. And golf shows is one of the ways we spend a lot of money. Some of these booths cost us, well over $10,000, and our labor costs for the week are staggering how expensive it is. But we go there, we sell a lot of stuff, we keep our guys employed, and we don't have to lay people off and then look for new staff in the spring. And so we've tried to just make it a year-round business. We've done a pretty good job. Plus, we have the heated stalls and the simulators. I forgot about those 2 revenue streams as well. So all year long, you can hit golf balls in Maple Hill, either at the grass range or out here at the heated range. And then, of course, in the indoor, we got our new TrackMan simulators this past winter, which Martinez did a great job getting those. So we're tough, man. We're tough to beat. And I'm not sitting here bragging. I am proud. But I'm not, my goal isn't to brag and tell you how great Maple Hill is. I'm saying it. We're just tough to compete with. And that's the ultimate point. Then the actual selling platforms and how do they work? So a lot of people come into our store and say, hey, your price in the store is less than your price online. Well, oftentimes, I'd say more often than not, our price on our website isn't set by us. It's set by the manufacturer. So you're going to say, well, how in the world does that, what do you mean it's set by the manufacturer? So they have, this went to the Supreme Court. It was a huge deal years ago. And so this new set of irons comes out, and Wilson wants it sold for $799. So $799 retail. So that means your website price has to be that. If you're going to put it in any advertisements, it has to be $799. If you're going to do it in store, once you have the customer on hand, you can sell it for any price you want. So in store, maybe we sell this for $749. This is fictitious. I'm just making this up. But in store, we can do a different price than our website. So then people would say, wasn't that called price fixing? Yes, it is called price fixing. And here's how the companies got around that policy. They said that you have the authority to sell our products for any price you choose to sell them for. Okay, so that gives us a green light. If you choose to sell them for less than our MAP, which is minimum advertised price, then we will terminate anywhere from a 30-day suspension to terminate our buy-sell agreement with you. Basically, you no longer have an account. So you can do whatever you want as long as you follow our rules. If not, your account's suspended or terminated. And Lord knows we've had our hands slapped and had some suspensions and terminations over the years. So that is how that works. So our website sometimes has a different price than what our store does. Sometimes when I'm shooting these videos with Caitlin and talking about a certain promotion and advertisement, I can only say a certain price because that's all we can actually push out to the public. Once you're in store, it's a different animal. We can tell you whatever we want. We can sell it for whatever we want. In most cases, there's a few outliers where still you have to sell it for this price or else your account's terminated. And if anybody ever turns us in or sends in their receipt with their proof of purchase to get it warranted, and then we can get in real trouble and all that. So there's a handful of situations where we can't mess with the price at all, but usually we can, and it's in store. So there's still a huge advantage to coming into our store and purchasing things than even buying it from our website. I know our website's convenient. We also have probably 85% of the products we sell on our website. There's probably 15% that's not listed on there at all. We have a level, an inventory level or par level, product at retail that we keep. And once it gets under like 2 on a golf bag, it comes off our website, and it's basically in store only because we don't want to sell it on our website and only have one or two in the store. And so there's things we have in the store that aren't on our website. The pricing in our store and our website are different. Every company hates Amazon because they mostly have a relationship with Amazon. So if you look at Amazon, oftentimes the price is the exact same at every website under the sun. So that's why so many people are like, well, how much is the Callaway Elite driver? Well, the Callaway Elite driver is $599, sir, because that's what it has to be on our website. In store, we can do different things with different products. I'm not saying Elite in particular. I'm saying like that's how it is. So if you just search Callaway Elite, you probably noticed every single website's the exact same price. Well, it has to be, or else your account's terminated or suspended. So, so in store and marketplaces, whether it's Amazon, eBay, or our own website, it's just a different set of rules. So, if you have any other questions about Amazon or eBay or how that works, and Amazon's fees are 15%, eBay's fees are between 10 and 12%. So we sell stuff a little cheaper on eBay than we do on Amazon. Most people just shop Amazon because of convenience, even though you're paying a little bit more. Well, no, Amazon's the cheapest price. No, I can tell you for a fact, Amazon's not the cheapest price. And oftentimes we can go underneath that on our website because we don't have any fees to pay other than just our credit card processing fees, which is like 2-3%. So, yeah, there's just a lot going on. If you got any questions about that, if you want to know what's going on, you can always call the store or email us. Once we email, we can tell you whatever we want. Calling, we can tell you whatever we want. And in-store, we can tell you whatever we want. Website, there's certain things we can't mess with the price and can't do anything with the price. So, and it's a little less service-oriented. So I personally like to talk to every customer and engage. And now our business is so big, it's hard to do that. But I love engaging with customers. That's what really gets me excited. So there's the Maple Hill philosophy. Selling platforms, mini drivers, and low spin drivers. So if you got any comments, questions on that, drop us something in the comments. And I want to move on to the mailbag. I always love these. This is a question from a YouTube, for somebody who watched us on YouTube, that says, what is considered to be a moderate swing speed with a driver? So I'm going to go with a adult male under 50 because I'm guessing that's who you are. Looks like your name's Kyle. In the 80 to 95 range, it's considered moderate, average. I think that's what moderate means, right? Average. So underneath 80 is going to be your guy that should be like in his 60s, 70s, and underneath 70 is going to be more a female probably, although we have ladies that rip the golf ball, so like a college female that hits it hard, or if it's a tall person, like if you're as tall as E here, you're even later in life, the club doesn't know how old you are, right? So even later in life, because your hands are so high, you're going to put a lot more lag on the shaft, so your swing speed is going to be higher. So height, age, flexibility, strength, there's a lot of different variables as to what a moderate swing speed is, but To answer your question, for a male that is in his between 20 and 50 is probably in the 80 to 95 mile an hour range. So these guys like, oh, I swing it at 118, all that. Okay, they're at the very, very tippy top of the iceberg and of the pyramid, and there's just not many people that swing it that fast. That's like tour. I think the tour average is maybe 110 or something like that. If you want to get up to tour average instead of moderate, start swinging it faster or figure out a way to do that. So that's the question from the mailbag. And keep those questions and comments coming. We're going to keep on trying to get to all of them as this podcast progresses and moves forward. Last part, the maple spill. A couple cool things happening. We've got our free wedge fitting event Wednesday, July 9th from 4 to 7 at our driving range. Bring in your current wedge and your pitching wedge and let our experts help you dial in your perfect wedge setup, tailored to your swing style and scoring. And we're going to also talk about bounce. People don't understand bounce. I've talked about that before on the podcast. We'll get into that. We can talk about golf balls. We'll talk about yardage gapping and lofts and all the different things and make sure your lengths are correct. So that's Wednesday, July 9th from 4 to 7 right at the range. Bring your stuff. Free Titleist golf ball fitting event Wednesday, July 16th from 11 to 5 at the driving range. This is by appointment. Please call us here at Maple, 616-538-0290 to reserve your free 30-minute professional fitting with a Titleist rep. So I don't know if it's going to take 30 minutes to fit you in a golf ball, folks, but it's by appointment only. So please call, and we can tell you what ball you should be playing prove it to you instead of guessing, you need Pro V1 because they're most expensive. So it also depends on what you want. If you want greenside spin or more distance off the tee. So we can get into all that. Then, of course, our big tent sale coming up later on this month. Right here at Maple Hill, we've got our tent outside and inside. So that sale is going to go from July 8th through 21, and at the very end of that, Thursday through Sunday. Thursday 11 to 7, Friday 9 to 7, Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. Tons of stuff. Folks, I've got a placemat here with a whole bunch of prices on it. I can't memorize this whole price list, so please bear with me and I'll go through a few things here. Just some highlights for you. Wilson Staff Dynapower driver, carbon head with a 10.5 adjustable up or down and loft. Came out at $550. That's $159, folks. It's a great driver. We also have left-handed in that. Epic Max Star, easily one of the coolest looking drivers we sell. The Callaway Epic Max Star version, ultra lightweight, ladies and men's. That one came out at $600. That's $188.88. We also have a Mizuno driver, a Cobra driver, a Lady Callaway driver, and a Lady Cobra driver, all at that $188.88 price point too. So again, golf clubs don't have to be expensive. The deals are flying once again. We've got a whole bunch of different fairway woods and hybrids for $59.99 in the ladies, 2 for $111.11. Kind of a mix and match, your choice. The fairway woods and hybrids all together. Epic Max Star fairway woods was $429. That's this guy here. Now $139, 2 for $270. Killer deal on that. Absolutely no-brainer, outrageously inexpensive. More hybrid deals. We've got Lady Cobra LTDX and Dynapower under that same $59.99, 2 for $111. So again, fairway woods and hybrids. Ladies, mix and match, 2 for $111. Insanely cheap. Epic Max Star hybrids, Maverick hybrids are also going to be on sale. We're also going to have TaylorMade Sim 2 and Stealth hybrids on sale as well. And then for irons, we got a killer iron lineup. We've really been working hard on trying to find some deals because sometimes they get pretty scarce. Golf is really healthy and things are moving well. So we're down to the nitty gritty on these. The Wilson Launchpad 2, it's a hollow construction iron. Super easy to hit. Those are going to be 5-through pitching wedge plus a gap wedge for only $299. We're going to give you the sand wedge for free. Graphite shafts cost just a little bit more, but the steel shafted is $299 with a free sand wedge to match them. We also got a Maverick irons, men's and ladies on sale. Cleveland Launcher Max irons on sale. And then we just struck the best deal in the history of Maple Hill with Cobra on the Dark Speed irons. Hollow construction, last year's 2024, 2025 model, and hits great, looks great, goes a mile, super forgiving, and the price on that you won't believe. Matter of fact, it's so cheap I can't say it in this video, so you'll have to check in the store or give us a call or shoot us an email. Wedges, tons of different wedge deals going on. Powerbuilt and Ray Cook for $29.99, 3 for $75. Callaway Maverick sand wedge, or you can add a 4-iron onto your iron set for only $69.99. Lots of different branded wedges, Callaway, TaylorMade, Cobra, all for $99.99. All previous generation wedges, outrageously inexpensive. Then there's a whole bunch of wedges at $119 also. Cleveland, Callaway, TaylorMade as well at that $119 price point. Putters, one of my favorite brands to sell because they work so well is the even roll putters. In our testing, it's probably the best putter we sell, the most consistent roll, the best made. ER5 and the ER2, they're number 1 and number 2 selling models. Came out at $400, $199, folks. That's a killer deal. And then also if you want the triple black finish, which is one of the coolest looking putters ever made, black head, black shaft, black grip, that's $22 more. TaylorMade Spider Tour red putter, the one that Jason Day is still playing. I know he is because I just saw him using it on tour the other day when he was in the contention. Junior package sets will be on sale. Women's package sets, men's package sets. Shoes. This is one of my personal favorites. I love this, and I'm glad you grabbed this color, Caitlin. The red, white, and blue Puma GS Fast 1. Absolutely a beautiful golf shoe. They came out at $120, and those are going to be $39.99 or 3 pair for $99.99. So what do you need 3 pair for? Well, it comes in men's, women's, mix and match as well. You get 2 men's and a women's or whatever. So a killer deal on that. Adidas ZG23. That's this shoe here. These also came out at $199. These are also $39.99, and they're included in the 3 for $99. You can mix and match brands as well. There's a ton of ladies and men's shoes in here, folks. There's too many for me to list, but the deal's crazy. We have, right this second, we have over 40,000 pairs of shoes in inventory. Yep, you heard me right. 40,000 pairs of shoes in inventory. So we've got deals galore on footwear. A couple of best deals ever on golf balls. Spalding dozens for $5.91. Folks, that's so cheap, you don't even got to look for them if you hit it in the woods. Don't worry about it. Doesn't cost nothing. And then this guy here, one of our best deals. We're getting down to the nitty gritty on these. We had 36,000 dozen. We're almost out of them. E9 long drive was $29.99. Now they're $9.43. There's also a whole bunch of other golf ball deals on here, such as Callaway Chrome Soft previous generation, the Tour model, the LS model, $34.99, 2 dozen for $65. TaylorMade Tour Response, one of the best selling balls they have, $29.99, 2 for $50. Golf bags, Bag Boy Chiller. This one's got the cooler inside of it, folks. It came out at $249, $119. There's 4 different glove deals going right here, $9.99. Buy one, get one free, folks. Apparel, all the apparel underneath the tent. Men's apparel is $39.99, 3 for $99. And you can mix and match the apparel with the footwear, which is a really cool deal. Something new we're doing this year. And then women's is even a little bit less. And then we have juniors as well, which is the same price as women's. So women's and juniors, all $29.99. Can't forget electronics, one of the fastest selling items we have. We're going to have the Izzo Swami laser rangefinder. This was $200. Izzo's made by Callaway or owned by Callaway Golf. $72.22 for a brand new laser. And then the Voice Caddy XL. This speaker that I used it yesterday as a matter of fact when I was playing Arcadia Bluff South Course. The GPS and speaker was $199, now $74.99. And then one last deal I got to bring up. There's a whole bunch more in here, but one last deal I have to bring up is the Bag Boy 3-wheel push cart. This cart came out at $189. We're doing it for $88.88 or $68.88 with any golf bag purchase. That does it for this week. New episodes drop every other week. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and give us a like, share it with your friends. We're trying to get this out to more and more people. We're trying to get the truth out there to more people and help more people. So happy 4th of July to each and every one of you. I appreciate all you listeners. Anybody that's liking us or asking questions or just engaging with us, I really, really appreciate you. Until next time, BK signing off.